We have a big show for you tonight. We have a travel show for you. So you do not see my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt or my pro MMA title that I like to point out in the beginning of each and every show to let you guys get some reference for who's actually talking to the camera and you on the other side of it. And today we have a travel show for you today, guys. MMA is absolutely cooked. I just watched the Sean Strickland and Hamzat press conference and the face-off where it looked like Hamzat kicked him in the nuts or the knee, or maybe a little bit of both, trying to hit him in the middle of the thigh, guys. So, yeah, man, MMA is cooked. We're gonna get into that. I got a couple theories as to why. There's nothing we can do about it, though. We're in this together. We're stuck here. We like fights. We like training, and now we got to deal with all this nonsense. So, anyways, guys, I cannot see the chat right now, but if you chat, it'll pop up. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I made an upgrade. I think I made a freaking upgrade. And just if you haven't already, if you're a fucking cool person with like sensibility, strength of character, good traits, good attributes, and some intelligence, then subscribe. But if you're like a weenie, a wussy, a weirdo, a wimp, just don't even do it. Because we want winners around here, guys. We want real ones. Okay, let me see if I can read the freaking chats. Dude, the MMA's cooked. I'm cooked. Okay, I'm cooked and I'm chopped. Right? I don't even know how to read the freaking chats on here. I can see them when they pop up though. But we are live, guys. So make sure that you check out Fight Circus. That's always important. That's that goes without saying. Fight Circus on Instagram at Fight Circus. Make sure you check them out. And if you train martial arts, send your coach to Studio Millions. Studio Millions will pack their gym full of students who stay, pay, and refer. Your coach will love you. You do nothing. We do everything. We pack the gym. Your coach loves you. It's a win-win for everybody. They get to live the life of their dreams, teaching martial arts and getting paid. And you are who they got to thank. Send your coach to Studio Millions. We got people hopping in right now. Hey, if you guys can start chatting, I'm gonna try and read them. But it might take a second because we don't have the whole setup, guys. We got the travel setup. But yeah, so I was watching. So I'm out here. Where are we at? Canyonville, Oregon, guys. Canyonville, Oregon, outside of Portland. We drove 2 hours in the rental car. We had a however many hour flight out here, and my dear friend and teammate Chris Ruffin is fighting. We just watched the UFC Hamzat and Strickland press conference. Chris trains with Strickland more than I do. I try not to interact with the dude personally. He's got his own lane, I got mine, and that's fine. But the press conference was quite interesting. There was a lot of back and forth. They have two different stories, right? And that's what I'm saying when I mean MMA is cooked. This is what it's come down to. We got one dude calling out the other guy because that guy was abused as a child. And then we got that guy calling out the other guy because of his religion. You know what I mean? And like, is that what happened in the days before So I believe the Conor versus Khabib whole situation, that whole pre-fight lead up, I didn't like that either. With all the wishing bad stuff on his dad and saying his dad died, that was rough, right? But like, what happened to the like? When one of us go to war, we all go to war. You know what I mean? We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. And people were cutting legitimate promos. What happened to Chael Sonnen telling Nogueira, man, you can't feed that bus a carrot. It's not a donkey. Like, what happened to that, right? What happened to the creativity of it all? And so now we got, so this is the only fight I care about right now, right? I want to see this fight because, I train at Extreme Couture. I coach the up and coming students there. And Strickland, in a lot of ways, is like the, let's say, team captain. Chris, would you call him a team captain? Okay, yeah, he's a team captain of sorts. So, like, I'm not going to get into all the details right now, but Strickland and I have had like personal issues. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Chris says, haven't we all? Right. But like in that same sentence that I say that, the dude's like kind of excellent at like raising the level of the team in an odd way. I believe we got Arpon the Dawn dropping fire emojis in the chat. Let me see if that just happened, guys. How the fuck do? Oh wait, who dropped the fire emojis? Oh shit. Okay, we got. Oh my God, Chris Ruffin from across the hotel room dropping the big fire. Let's go. So, yeah, Strickland does raise the level of the room. He has a certain standard that he will call you out for. And yeah, man, if you are ever losing a round, no matter how good the person is that you are training with, he will start to call you a pussy and a man and all kinds of stuff. And then you go, you know what, man? Fuck this. I'm not taking this type of abuse. I'm getting the fuck up. And then sometimes you find another gear. Okay, so that's what goes on at Extreme Couture. And I found the press conference today to be a little bit much. And I'm a little bit much. You know what I'm like? I get in people's faces, I call the whole thing, but like, man, I would have liked to have seen, and obviously, this is wishful thinking. I would have liked to had just like a little bit of, and it's kind of it's like hard to say because you want it to be real, right? You want the beef, if there is beef, to be genuine. You don't want it to be manufactured. But I would have liked if someone would have gave these two the smallest amount of media training and just said, "Hey, cuss at each other, call each other's families, all kinds of bitches and hoes, whatever you want to do. Make fun of this guy because he comes from a country that has a dictator, and maybe we don't understand what has to happen. Like, hey, if you don't come back and let me choke you out, then your family dies. Like, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Why he went back? Strickland says it's Hamzat wanted to get a G wagon, so he went and sucked out the dictator over there. Or maybe that guy had like his family hostage. We don't know, right? We don't know the situation. But it would have been dope if they were like, say whatever you want, just let the other person finish talking, right? Like, let's not just yell at each other, calling each other all kind of faggots and all kinds of, rah, 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 you bitch, I kill you, you fucking bitch, you daddy, your daddy. And then this other, you know what, let me tell you, you know the thing about you, your daddy, your daddy. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Can we just take this guy says his piece, that guy says his piece, and now we have like these dope sound bites, right? But MMA is a fucking hillbilly cowboy free for all, right? Like dudes are getting paid, you know, what is it to start? $12,000. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting the the elite of the elite that want to sign up for the sport at this point, right? So, you know, we got a lot of guys who have a lot of troubled pasts, and the sport is not like holding them to any kind of standard, like where the NFL or the NBA, there's some form of media training, right? Like a little bit. Here, it's just people yelling over each other. And then, you know, the other fight that we got coming up, Ronda versus Gina, which I believe is going to be the biggest event that we've seen thus far in the human history of MMA. But what does that say about the sport? Like, that's what we got to look forward to after this. What else is coming up? Gina, Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. That's going to be a fun little fight, right? Um, but other than that, what are we doing? We got two guys cussing over each other, and then we got some mature ladies, right? We're gonna get into a fist fight for legacy, I guess, which is cool, you know, and they're helping grow the sport, which I support. And I'm a big fan of fighters getting paid. But like what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? Strickland had a great point. He's like, man, and I'm not saying do this. Don't do this. But he's saying that UFC needs to stop bringing in the Chechnyan wrestler, the Dagestani wrestler, the guys who are not good at speaking and they just want to take you down. A lot of people would say they're trying to hold people down and just hold them there for, you know, 3 rounds or 5 rounds. And then like nobody wants to see that, right? So like what do you do? What do you do if you're Dana? Do you sign people based on personality or do you sign people based on fight skills? If you sign people based on fight skills, you're going to get a lot of the Russian mountain men who know how to wrestle and don't like to talk. That's just what that is. That's that culture. It's like, hey, you know what we do? We wrestle. We don't talk. Okay. And if you go the other route, then you end up with Ronda versus Gina, right? So, like, where's the happy medium? And then is it even a sport at that point? Right. So that's why I'm saying MMA is cooked, guys. Now, some of us still love it. Some of us are out here in Canyon. What is it? Canyonville, because we love MMA, right? We love training. We love fighting. We love scrapping. We love cornering our friends. We love seeing the world through martial arts, guys, right? But like, as a sport, as a community, as a whole, like, we need somebody to come in, and maybe it's Ilya. And I hope Justin knocks out Ilya just for the simple fact that Justin is American. But like, that's just, let's be real, guys. I'm living in fucking fantasy land, you know? Speaking of Ilya and Justin, I don't believe Trump knew that they were fighting each other when they did the White House like meetup. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh yeah, bro. Everybody here's got their toughest fight coming up, and you got a tough fight coming up, and you got a tough fight coming up, and you guys both have tough opponents. And how do you think are you confident you're going to beat your opponent? Oh, your opponent's a tough guy, bro. Are you 100% confident? Okay, yeah. And we got someone else over here. We got Justin Gaethje, and he's got a big fight too. And it's like, bro, his fight is standing next to you, dog. And shout out to everybody who is trying to promote the sport in their own way. And I understand that everybody's not balls deep in MMA and doesn't know it. I mean, the guy's got a lot going on, right? He's got a lot going on. He's got a straight of whatever the fuck, or moves that he's got to open or close or both or whatever. People have got a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of donors. He's got, like whatever, right? He made a lot of promises. A lot of people want him to keep the promises. Like, he's got pressure, right? Other people are like, hey man, I know you promised them that, but they didn't pay you billions of dollars, bro. So if you want to get whatever in this case, I don't know what the pressures are being president. I'm sure there's a lot, right? I'm not expecting him to know that these two guys are fighting, but they could have told the guy that. And then he also had this vibe where it's like an all American card, and he didn't realize that three of the four dudes on stage are not American. And like, he's asking Alex Pereira to talk. Hey, big guy, you want to say something? You say something about America. And then Alex is like, Portugueso. You know what I mean? And he just, and then he did compliment the man on big hands, right? That was a man on man hand compliment. Okay. So from the big hands crew, you know what I mean? Sometimes, yeah, another man's going to compliment your hands. Hey, what's up, everyone? Just got my notification. Yeah, what's up? We got John Hogan in the chat. Big dog, famous last name, not related to my knowledge, but shout out because listen, when a Hogan goes to war, anyways. So yeah, we got a lot going on, but there's also like not a lot going on, right? Like, I feel like there's a like a space, like a void, like a gap, like a something's about to happen. Like, we're in a calm before a storm in terms of someone's gonna come out and be the next dude. And I don't know if that's Strickland beating Hamzat, and then Strickland's the face of the brand. And then moving forward, he's got the hot takes that everybody's like, can you believe he said that or whatever? And it's not going to be McGregor, but it's going to be different, right? It's not going to be that era where like you really wanted to tune in to see what he was going to say. With the current era, we kind of know what's going to be said. And it's still kind of shocking that they're saying it to each other, but it's not like, what's he gonna say? There's not that, like, there's still the I can't believe he said that, but there's not the what's he's gonna say, right? Like, what is he gonna I remember, man, one of my favorite moments in MMA history. I mean, Bob, let me lean forward, guys, and Mog in the frame. You know what I'm saying? If you lean back, right? Now I look disinterested, like you gotta prove yourself to me. Like, oh, like if we're having a conversation, right? And then someone starts talking and I go like this. Oh, really? Hmm. Interesting, right? But if I come in the frame like this, all of a sudden I'm mogging now. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna flex my traps. You know what I'm saying? And curl my shoulders forward. You know what I mean? And now we're mogged up, guys. So, anyways, mogging tips, mogging 101, mog for the camera, guys. And I remember when Conor was gonna fight Floyd and he brought in Paulie Malignaggi. And if you guys were around for this, this was the peak of MMA. We've never, and it's not even MMA because he went over to boxing, right? But it was like our guys going to boxing, right? And by our guy, I mean the white people in the community, right? To everybody I know, and maybe not Chris. I'm not going to speak for another person, but a lot of the black people I know were going for Floyd, right? So there was like this, oh, Floyd's gonna fuck him up. And white people, we gotta have great white hope in Conor that he can do it, right? And we want to believe, right? But he brought in Paulie Malignaggi. Okay. And Paulie Malignaggi was like a world champion in boxing and everything. And Paulie was like the boxing head, like the guy that's gonna like commentate on boxing from the actual boxer's perspective, you know. And he went over there to box Conor, and Conor dropped him. And then there were like whispers in the night that like Conor dropped him. Man, Conor beat up Paulie Malignaggi, and Paulie Malignaggi came out and said that that's fake news. It's untrue. And then Conor dropped the video. You know what I mean? But it was like him, boom, hitting him, and Paulie's on the floor, and then Paulie's like, "I was stumbling, bro. That wasn't a knockdown. I tripped over my shoelaces." Dude, like that moment in history when it was like, dude, can Conor really go do? Conor's really gonna go fight Floyd? He just dropped Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I mean? And to the boxing heads, I'm not saying the like white people cheering for Conor and the black people saying, "Hey man, Floyd's going to get him," right? Like not that. I'm talking about like the actual boxing versus MMA conversation. Right? Because sometimes you got to just ride with your guy, right? Like if Conor's going in there and this is our chance, we got to ride with the dude, right? And I'm sure that maybe black folks feel the same. Like, hey man, listen, we're all for MMA. We love Conor. That's a given. But I gotta go with Floyd, man. We've been through enough, right? You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm just fucking off on a tangent right now. There was an MMA versus boxing conversation. And the boxing heads would always say, boxing is the sweet science. MMA fighters can't box. They don't have any hands. They don't know the right. Like and I'm like, dude, if you try slipping, if you're in a Philly shell and you try slipping at kick range, you are going to get head kick knocked out. If you stand bladed, you are going to get your calf, your thigh, and your knee joint obliterated, bro. It is different. You cannot stand like that. You cannot move like that. You will get double legged on your head, bro. It's different. You can't sit down on the shots the same. So to me, the boxing world was uneducated on what they were talking about because they were assuming that striking in MMA is the same as striking in boxing. And it's not. The stance, you can't stand that way. You can't turn your punches over the same way. You can't sit down. There's so much stuff you can't do because you will get fucked up that they don't know what they're talking about. But they said, man, in boxing, Conor can't hang. So when Conor put hands on Paulie Malignaggi before the video was leaked, they were in disbelief. The boxing community could not accept it. They would not accept it. It didn't happen. That's impossible. Paulie Malignaggi, man, he's got an Italian accent and he's from fucking wherever the fuck he's from, New York or wherever. Oh, he's from Brooklyn and he boxed and he's got an Italian accent. There's no way an Irish man from MMA could possibly do anything to the guy. It's the sweet science. You don't understand, MMA guy. You don't understand, Conor McGregor fan. It's different, right? We watch boxing and we talk about bums. You know what I mean? And we have these words like, oh, he fought bums or he fought cans. And we have these, you know what I mean? Like they have their own lingo. And then the video dropped. And Paulie Malignaggi was sitting on his ass right in front of Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor's like, hey, bro, that's called the left hand of doom, my guy. Learn about it. Right. And so to me, that was like peak fucking A. Everything's at the pinnacle now. Now we got MMA guys crossing over. People were making songs. There's only one Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? And dude, if you went to a Conor fight and everybody's rocking green and they're fucking screaming, there's only one Conor McGregor, right? And then the other Conor song came out, uh, Conor McGregor, and there's no one better, and he's gonna knock out Floyd Mayweather. You know, like they had it, like was a whole fucking thing, guys, a whole ass thing. And now this dude is like singing with his fucking ukulele. He's going on tour. Conor McGregor, he ain't from Dublin, and he and they left it, and like it was a whole fucking thing, right? And now we got fucking one guy screaming about child abuse topics to a guy who was unfortunately abused, and we got another guy screaming about religion. And while it's intense, and I support the intensity, like, yeah, these guys are gonna fight. It's not fucking patty cakes. We're not in the best friends championship. Right? At the same time, it's just it doesn't have the same ambiance. So I'm feeling like somebody's gonna come in. And maybe it's Hokit, guys. And maybe he's not the hero we want, but he's the hero we need. And we didn't know that we needed the Mick Foley of MMA to come in and change the landscape. We didn't know we needed a guy with multiple characters. You know, he's got a guy in an American flag bandana that he portrays, and then he's got a cholo. Maybe that's who we need. And Strickland says he doesn't like Hokit's character, and Hokit's like, yo, bro, I'm more popular than you are, and I just started, bro. So maybe you should learn something, right? So now those guys are beefing, and not that they're gonna fight because they're way different weight classes or whatever, but Hokit might be the answer to the lack of enthusiasm about fights problem that we got right now. Because other than this Hamzat fight, like, what are we hyped about? Ilya beating up Justin Gaethje at the White House? That would be a dope fight if it wasn't at the White House, right? Like, dude, can we get some American dubs? Like, what are we doing? MMA's cooked, guys. I love you guys, man. I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss it.